close my eyes and I can see a world that's waiting up for me, that I call my own.
Because what makes Bob Clark different is he's kind of an enigma in the real estate business. He's a self-made man who, came from St. Louis, or started his business in St. Louis, and went to school, I think at Wash U for architecture. In his first semester, he asked the professor how much money he's going to make as an architect, and the professor told him the number, and he immediately left class and didn't go back. And he started his business in the construction trades. I've heard this story from him many times. And by the way, he's an incredible storyteller in and of his own right. But he built this business, Clayco, from scratch. He and his wife at the time were building this business, and he's grown it to just an incredible platform that does some very creative and innovative projects across a very wide spectrum of commercial real estate applications, industrial. I think he's built 35 or 40 major mixing centers for Amazon. And
I think one of the biggest things that sets Bob apart is his passion. He truly loves what he does. He has a passion for design and all of the details that go into every project. He has a desire to make a real impact with everything that he does, with who he works with on the project, the safety of the people on the project, the diversity and inclusion, all the way down to the workforce in a project. And Bob just makes every decision, and everything he does is all about doing it for the right reasons. And he really thinks a lot about that. He's very thoughtful. And I think what really sets him apart is profit has never been his main motivating factor. And so everything he does reflects that.
His tenacious attitude towards always wanting to be first, making sure that he burns the midnight hours just to get that last bit of information over to sell to a customer. I mean, he's a tenacious guy. I mean, he'll outwork his competition. I mean, that's what he's instilled in me, is really outworking the competition.
From a real estate perspective, and Bob's company, Clayco, and it's all his partners have done projects all across the country. But I think the thing that's been most impactful is his decision to relocate its headquarters to Chicago. Bob very early on recognized that while his operations are national, and it continues to become more national, the signal that it sent for me as a Chicagoan to have Bob be willing to relocate his headquarters to Chicago was incredibly impactful to the community. It was impactful to the real estate world. It was impactful to construction in particular. Having a company of Clayco's capabilities in our market sends a signal that Chicago is a good place to live and do business.
He just, you can't help but look at this guy, and he's telling you something, and he believes it, and you believe it. And he was able to attract, top-notch talent from companies that had been established for 10, 15 years and bring them over to a young construction company just on, meeting Bob and believing that, this guy is really going to say what he says he's going to do. 7:30 that Monday morning, Bob called me and said, hey, I started this construction company. I'm looking for a receptionist, and I'd like you to come in and interview for the position. And so decided to hitch my wagon to his star. And people were like, you must have known what, and I was like, no, I probably thought in 9 months I'll be looking for another job, because how can a construction company that just started, And I think our first year we did $1 million in revenue, and last year we did $5 billion. So it's been quite a ride.
And that was the project that I moved up to Chicago to build. And it was the biggest project that Clayco had done at the time. And it was, it was probably also the most difficult. And a lot of good stories come out of that one. But at the end of the day, we completed it on time, and it's an incredibly cool looking building that is right off the side of the highway that people marvel at. And even now, I drive over there and bring my kids, and they're just amazed at a building that is built like that and shaped like that.
One of the milestone projects that Bob was able to win for the Clayco enterprise was the Zurich North American headquarters project. And, you know, he put his heart and soul into that project. And I remember we were actually working on another project for a client in Richmond, Virginia, for an office we were developing there. And he and I were sharing a hotel room. And he found out that he was not going to win the Zurich North American headquarters project. And he absolutely tossed and turned he didn't sleep at all. And he woke up the next day with a whole argument about how the other team who was going to get awarded the project wasn't going to be able to, you know, do what they said they were going to do, because he had thought of everything and he knew that what he was, you know, putting together was as good as it could be. And he pushed and he pushed and he pushed, and they did award it to somebody else. And he pushed and he pushed and he pushed. And a few weeks later they called and they said, "Can you really do everything you said you could do?" And he said, "Yes, I'll do everything I said we could do." And they awarded him the project, and he did everything he said he could do. And I'm really proud of him for winning that, and for believing in himself and our team. And it's a beautiful project to drive by, and it's just a reminder of, you know, what it takes to win, and the passion and the creativity. And the original design for that bar tower had columns on it. And Bob, when he first saw it, the first thing he said is, "We don't need those, you know, it's a 180-foot span." He was like, "We'll just build a bridge right over the top of those other two buildings." And
yeah, I can tell you one of the projects that sticks out that embodies Bob and what I've tried to describe is a big development we had going when I first came, called North Park. And needless to say, maybe not needless to say, it scared me to death. You know, I'd gotten there, we hit the recession. You know, we owned a bunch of land and out north of the airport in St. Louis, and we're trying to develop it. And it just, you know, freaked me out. So Bob walks in and he says, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Well, I'm planning for this and I'm looking at that." And he goes, "You worry too much." And I said, "What do you mean I worry too much?" He says, "This is all going to work out just fine." I said, "Bob, you're confusing thinking with worrying. I'm just trying to think our way through it." He says, "You need to relax. This is going to work out. You just got to take it one step at a time." And you fast forward, and I'm going to tell you, that seemed like cowboy gibberish when I was listening to it at the time, given the conditions of the market. You fast forward a number of years later, and that turned out to be one of the most successful developments that we've done. And it just goes to Bob's. Now, listen, there were some tight times during that, but he never got daunted. He never panics. He's a very intense guy, right? And he can get very passionate about what he believes in. But he's not a he's not a dilettante in things he's committed to. He's either all in or he ain't around.
The door through where no one's been before, but it feels like home.
So Bob is
ambitious,
Smart,
Passionate,
caring, generous, idealistic, brave. You know, he's not afraid to take a stance on a position, you know.
focused,
Smart, number one.
smart,
motivated,
fair,
Committed, ethical, handsome.
Creative.
intense, driven, charitable,
Quirky.
Funny.
Funny.
Charismatic.
Well, there's no one thing for sure, but I will tell you the one thing that's most meaningful to me is he loves to laugh. He and I laugh a lot together. Now, this is a tough business. If you don't learn to laugh, you'll get daunted very quickly. And Bob really doesn't understand the concept of can't. You know, my father used to say, can't never did nothing. Well, Bob lives that way. If he gets in his mind that something is to be done, he doesn't suffer people that say, well, that can't be done.
Bob was the ambassador under the Biden administration and represented our country in Dubai. So he was the ambassador for the World's Fair. And I was lucky enough to get an invitation to go to Dubai, in which Bob hosted a delegation from Chicago, which I was part of. I actually brought my family with me, and I could not even explain how hospitable Bob and his team was during that trip. So it was not only a true honor to get the invitation, but once we got there, the VIP treatment and the way that just to watch Bob represent our country was really just proud for all of us to see.
They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say I've lost my mind.
Well, it's no secret that Bob has a very, very, very short attention span. He spends 30 seconds on a subject, and the next thing you know, you're talking about something totally different. But that's part of what makes his ability to deal with people so charming.
Yes, he is ADD personified.
That would be an understatement for sure. I mean, there are micro moments that you get with Bob, and so you have to be very prepared for your meetings and have a priority. I kid him. I keep my Bob list in front of me at all times, and I keep them prioritized because I don't know how much attention I'm going to get that day, right, or that moment. And so you always have your Bob list in your pocket to make darn sure you can get what you need when you need it.
I've flown with him a couple of times, and he gets on the plane and he's got like 6 papers, and he's reading through the papers, and he's conducting 3 conversations at the same time while he's doing that. So he's a huge multitasker.
You know, I tell people when you think of Bob is to think of that guy on the stage with the plates on the stick, and he runs over here and got to keep that plate spinning, and then he runs over here and he's got to keep that plate spinning, and you know, his brain is just wired to handle it and to, you know, actually thrive in it.
So Bob is, people think sometimes Bob is all over the place. He is not. Bob is a person that when he decides to do something or, you know, wants something to be done, he is going to figure out a way to do it.
But I think he learned early with his ADD that he can understand concepts really quickly, and if people take a long time to explain something, you know, he loses interest. So get to the point, get to it quick. He can take it, he can figure it out, and he knows what to do with it. So I do think that creates kind of an energy and a momentum that's really helped him be successful. And I think it's been funny to watch other people react to it at times.
Yeah, Bob and I met when I was 11 going on 12 years old, and basically on a dare from a kid in my neighborhood, a good friend in my neighborhood, who was going to go ask this firm for an opportunity. Clayco at that time was a new business starting out. They bought an old building on my street, and I went up and knocked on the door, and it was Bob Clark. He answered the door, and I basically told him my situation, and needed to raise some money for my mom to help put food on the table and keep the lights on and have running water. And he, you know, gave me that opportunity. He saw something in me from a young kid that was not afraid to go and ask for a job, and for my situation I was in. And so he gave me an opportunity to, pick up trash at the office, coming home from after school, make sure first I had to make sure I did my homework, and then I'd come up to the shop, and he would have stuff set aside for me to work in the shop, for after hours. And, that relationship blossomed into where I think Bob kind of broke the child labor laws by getting me a laborer's card at the age of like 14. And so he had his job sites do the same thing, leave a lot of stuff at the job sites, and he would pick me up and take me after I got all done my homework. He would pick me up from my house and take me to the job sites so I can make a little bit more money. Because at that time I was only working in the shop, the minimum wage, and then I got my union card. I got to make a little bit more money. And so the relationship really, it blossomed, and I think it really turned really, really seriously when I was about 16, 17 years old, where Bob went and had a conversation with my mother, who's passed, and said that he really wanted to take a more significant role in my life as a father figure, and to really help me get out of my situation in my neighborhood, because he saw something in me that I didn't want to fail. I was in a position where I couldn't fail because I wanted to make sure my mother and my brother were taken care of. And so she blessed the deal, and it blossomed from there. I went and met his wife Ellen, who I call my mom, and she passed away as well. My mother, my biological mother, and Ellen passed away the same year, which was really hard for all of us. Ellen passed away in March of 2010, and my biological mother died. She passed away in December of 2010. And so it was a really, really hard year for all of us. But she was the heart and soul of the family. And I learned a lot from her, and I learned a lot from Bob. But as I've grown with Bob and been across the country, been across the world with him, I would have never imagined the things I've been introduced to, the people I've been introduced to, that he's opened up so many doors for me. And one of the things that I didn't understand, as I was growing up, he would tell people that I've done more for him than he's done for me, which I had a hard time understanding that until I got older, where it opened his mind up from getting more involved with the community, diversity, and it was just an enlightening deal for me to be introduced to someone like him, where he actually took it upon himself to say, I got to start introducing you to people that look like you, that are successful like you, because I've introduced you to a lot of people that look like me, and I want to make sure you see people that are successful that look like you. And he had some really good friends. Dave Stewart from Worldwide Technology, Arnold O'Donnell from Carnival, were really personal friends of his, and sat down with both of them wanted to take an interest in my life to help guide me as well from a diversity perspective. And both of those individuals are very involved in my life to this day. And it's because of what Bob saw in me and saw in those individuals that, I need your support to help Todd grow as well. So it's just been a blessing for me to know Bob, to know the family, and to be called his son. I mean, I pinch myself all the time because how I grew up and where I grew up, I could never imagine that I would be in this position. I'm one of the largest minority companies in the country as far as general contracting business. And it's all because of what I've learned from him, that no give up attitude, tenacious, just, outwork the competition, community involvement. Just the philosophies, the vision that he's instilled in me, it's made me who I am today. He's just an unbelievable individual. And I'm proud to call him my father.
'Cause every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake.
I mean, there's just really countless examples. Bob's generosity. He really is always thinking about other people, how to make them more comfortable, how to give them better access, better opportunity. He treats all of the employees at Clayco like family too, and then people who he meets along the way. He wants to help everyone he meets, and he often does. So it's pretty cool.
Congratulations, Bob, on winning the Lifetime Achievement Award by the Illinois Real Estate Journal. Nobody deserves it more than you. And thank you so much for your contribution to the city of Chicago and the state of Illinois and the United States of America. Thank you.
From myself, my husband, Bob, and my son, Nate. Bob, congratulations on the Lifetime Achievement Award.
Bob, congratulations on your Lifetime Achievement Award with the Illinois Real Estate Journal. You know, since I've come to Clayco, I never would have thought my career would have gone in this direction or in this trajectory. And if it really wasn't for you, I don't think I would be at Clayco or doing the things I'm doing or doing the things that I love. So I really want to thank you. Thank you for being a great leader, a great friend.
So Bob, congratulations on winning the Lifetime Achievement Award for the Illinois Real Estate Journal. Nobody I know probably deserves it better than you. You brought a lot to the table and you're going to bring a lot more. So congratulations.
Congratulations, Bob, on your Lifetime Achievement Award from the Illinois Real Estate Journal. We're really proud and no one deserves it more. So congratulations.
Congratulations, Dad, on your much deserved Lifetime Achievement Award. You've achieved so much in such a short period of time, and you have a whole nother lifetime left to achieve so much more. And I can't wait to do it with you.
Congratulations, Bob, on your Lifetime Achievement Award. It's certainly well-deserved. I want you to know that I love you, but the higher praise I can give you is that I enjoy you. I have fun with you. I love working with you, and I love even more having fun with you. So congratulations. Have a great night.
It's meaningful and it's heartfelt that what this man has done for me has been short of remarkable from my upbringing. And I mean, people say, well, you know, you've done part of that too. I said, well, I have, and I did do my part, but I had to have that opportunity. And without someone, you know, taking that risk with me and understand my situation, who knows? I mean, I think anyone could have been in that position because that's how big of a heart that man has.
Congratulations, Grandpa, on your award. We love you.
Congratulations, Poppy. Love you. Love you, Poppy. Congratulations.
I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. Oh, a million dreams for the world we're gonna make.
About a minute long. But I just want to be very brief. I want to thank everybody for this award for the Illinois Real Estate Journal. You put on an amazing event. It's great that you honor so many people in the industry and that you recognize how many people it takes to put projects together. The architects, the brokers, the bankers, the financing. This is a really complicated business, and you all make it happen. And so this award really couldn't have been won without every single person in this room. So I really just want to honor you all. I want to also thank my mentor, Bob Wislow. Nobody in this room will ever know the influence that Bob Wislow had on me and my life and my personal life through some of my tragedies, but through my greatest honors and my greatest award. So I really appreciate you being here, Bob. Thank my families here, the ones that don't have COVID. which are about half of them right now. So, but I haven't seen any of them, so don't worry, you can kiss me. My team, many of my team are here. I think we have over 3,500 employees in the company. Obviously, I can't do anything without them. I have the best and brightest. That was always my goal, was to hire 3,500 people who are smarter than me, and I did that, obviously. And then I want to thank the sponsors that put this event on, because it's really important to honor all of the people in the room and all the businesses that make our industry happen and successful. And then I do want to make a plea to everybody in the room to, if you're not back to work, go back to work. If you know people who aren't back at work, get them to go back to work. It makes me crazy, absolutely crazy, that people in our industry who should be leading the way, showing our customers that they can work safely in the office, are still working from home. Get back to work. Thank you so much.